Welcome to Back to Business Episode 2, and thanks to our season sponsors MHK Holding UK. In today's podcast I'm joined by the brilliant Scott Currie, and we're going to talk about the fantastic partnership between Virtual 360 Tours Gloucester and Jones Digital. Enjoy the show. Okay, here we go. It is episode 2 of the Back to Business podcast. I said it last time with Damien and Stephen. Amazingly, this is season number 5. How about that? Series 5 of my little podcast. It's getting bigger, it's getting better. And today in episode 2, we're going back to business. I'm joined by someone who began his relationship with me as a LinkedIn contact. He's now become a trusted business partner, but more importantly to that, he's a much valued and loved friend to me and my family. Scott, welcome to the show. Welcome back onto the podcast.
Hello, Peter.
But let's have it straight for listeners. Have you recovered from the beers and the burger yesterday evening?
Not 100%. I got up early, went down to the beach. It's a lot of steps. And it took me quite a long time to get back up as well. But brilliant night. And we were sensible, weren't we? We only had a couple of beers.
We're always sensible, Scott.
Absolutely.
And we're always very sensible if Mrs. Currie and Mrs. Jones are listening to the show. So,
yes, of course.
So we are. But there is, for the eagle-eyed amongst you, there is footage of our burgers, and it was a feast. I felt a little bit like Henry VIII for that much food in front of me.
Amazing. A big shout out to the Burger Bird.
Burger and Bird and the Greenwich rooms where you stayed along the
Fabulous.
coast. 15 minutes from this studio in Brighton, and good to get you down again, Scott. It's been great for us to catch up. So let's introduce you properly to the listeners. You are Scott Currie. You're a business partner of Foyne Jones. Jones Digital and Virtual 360 Tours work beautifully together. We celebrated that in the Lockdown Diaries in video format. It was a huge feature in my first book, The Lockdown Diaries, which we published earlier this year. Now, we're just going to revisit this in that podcast. We're going to talk about the offer. We're going to talk about how the KBB industry is bouncing back to business, and we're going to talk about Scott Currie, your family, and everything you've been going on, what you got going on. But let's draw it back, Scott. You know, and I'm going to call this section "Open All Hours," all right? Because I want you to imagine that our thousands of listeners have no idea what a virtual 360 tour is. They've heard about it, but they don't really know how it can benefit them or benefit their showroom. Can you just take a couple of minutes, mate? Just reintroduce yourself to the Foyne Jones Show listeners and tell us what you really do at Virtual 360 Tours Gloucester.
Absolutely. And it's not uncommon that people do actually not really fully understand what a virtual tour is. They all seem to think it's Google, Google Street View. The virtual tours that I create, that we create, are a perfect digital twin for your business that allows potential clients to walk into any and every area of your showroom when they want, where they want, zoom in. We embed videos to allow them to see what the features of the appliances are. So they can actually see oven doors opening, they can see drinks cabinets opening. They can even measure an island and see if it will fit in their home. We could add a link to meet the designers, in a little video saying meet the designers, and you can choose your designer. It's really unlimited to what you can do with the virtual tours. And one of the proof of the pudding, I guess, is in 4 years of all the showrooms I've done, and that's quite a lot now, probably. Well, it's approaching 200 actual showrooms, and about 500 overall tours. Nobody's ever not wanted another one after they've had a tour, if they've made changes, and often it does happen that, after 6 months, 9 months or a year, they make changes. They all want me to come back, It's great viewing numbers. We're at 1.4 million impressions, which is people landing on...
Sorry, Scott, just say that again. So did 1.4 million?
1.4 million impressions, yeah. So that's people landing on the page where the tours are, but they don't necessarily click play.
I'm a kid from a council estate in Fulham, right? So 1.4 million sounds a lot. So if we break that down, that's 1.4 million showroom tours that have been viewed online.
Yep, so they may not have viewed the entire tour, or they don't press play. There's that little highlight reel. If they press play, that counts as a tour. But unique views of sort of nearly 280,000 people, because people tend to view it more than once. So you might find that, someone who's looking at your showroom might come back 5, 6, 7 times. So they don't count those as being, individual views. It's a unique viewer, so they count that up as well. And showroom owners reporting back to me that people from out of area have come in. One showroom owner in Cirencester actually said that he had someone phoned him up and said, look, I've got a budget of about 35. If I send you the plans, can you tell me whether we're a goer on this? It's the one in the corner of your showroom. He's never been in there before, but he's seen everything he needs to see on the virtual tour. He's even measured it. He knows it fits. And that's the whole point.
And that's the concept which was so unique to us. And we began our partnership during the dark days of the first lockdown. It was
Absolutely.
lockdown 1 at the beginning of COVID, and the KBB community, as a whole, was facing the fact that the doors were shut.
Yes.
So it wasn't business as usual. It was no business. It was we are closed. So all of a sudden, the world of podcasting suddenly become more popular. We cracked out 71 episodes between lockdown 1 and lockdown 3,
and amazing,
and built up an amazing following. But that following, you see them changing their dynamics of trading. So perhaps we're going to move to an online consultation. Putting my recruitment hat back on, we were pioneers of video recruitment technology before COVID. So back in 2016, 2017, we were having conversations about, do you know what Skype is? Do you know what FaceTime is? Have you ever been on Zoom? And we were getting pushback all the time. No, whoa, that's scary, not for me. And we were saying, but why do you want to recruit someone on a piece of paper? Why don't you get to see their personality? We'll save you time, we'll save you money. All of a sudden, almost overnight, and it sadly took a global pandemic and horrific loss of life, the KBB industry woke up to digital, it woke up to video technology, and it began to realise that when we do get back to normal, it will never quite be the same again.
I don't think it ever will be again.
And that's where the open all hours comes from, because you are saying that with this virtual showroom tour on your website and included in your marketing and your storytelling, you can be talking to your customers 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. While you are asleep, there will be people walking around your showroom online.
Absolutely. I mean, it's commonly recognised now that we have changed the way we do things. The amount of showroom owners that I speak to now that won't open their doors properly again, it will be appointment only. And also, 92% of all people now will view you online before they come in person, and as a business owner, it can never do you any harm, people looking at you and spending, an average website has a big bounce rate, probably only 8 to 10 seconds before people leave you. How can anyone look around your showroom in 8 to 10 seconds? Whereas a virtual tour, they stay 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes, and they come back again and they watch videos. When I was a kitchen designer, trying to sell a kitchen to someone who just said, I'll throw that oven in, that will do. It never works. The virtual tours allow your customers to turn from browsers to actual real buyers, and well-informed. They know what they're looking at, they know what they want. I was in a fantastic showroom yesterday in Brentwood, Cushion House. Beautiful showroom. Customer was in there. He's wondering what I was doing, and I told him. He said, oh, my God, that's brilliant. I can't wait to see. Because, of course, he's come in and chose his kitchen, but he can now go home, and when that's live, he can look at it every day if he wants. Because he won't be having it for a little while. It's, I think it's a new build, I
mean, I've got to say, Scott, you put some miles in yesterday.
I did.
You're based in the beautiful Cotswolds. You travel to Brentwood, Essex. Then you come down to Sussex by the sea. Yep. I obviously drag you kicking and screaming into the bar. Yep. Which is my bad. It took a lot of persuasion. But you have, I would imagine, and this is, I know this because we're doing the bookings and Holly's doing the bookings. But you've been, across the United Kingdom with virtual showroom tours, haven't you? You've clocked up the AA miles and the RAC miles, haven't you?
Well, recently I went up to Scotland and I flew into Aberdeen, and from Aberdeen went to Thurso, which is a long way, let me tell you. That's a long way. And then from Thurso to Perth to Edinburgh, Edinburgh to North Berwick and then back to Edinburgh for the flight home, and that was all in 4 days.
You've fallen in love with Edinburgh as well.
I love Edinburgh. Yeah. It's absolutely.
He said to me, we just bring Charlie in because we want your listeners to get to know our new producer.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll make you famous, Charlie, I promise. But he said to me, and it was a real conversation. We're chatting away. I said, you liked Edinburgh? He said, I loved it so much. I want to end my days there.
Yeah, it is. It's gorgeous.
I didn't see that one coming. That was like, but you fell in love with the people, the showrooms, just the general welcome as well. You said,
it's
didn't you?
just a fabulous place. It just is a fabulous place, And I've done about 10 or 11 showrooms up there, maybe a little bit more now. But it's just a beautiful place, and it is hard work. Don't get me wrong. You do cover some mileage, but I was born in Scotland. They can't usually pick that up from my accent, in fairness. And I was born in Hawick, so I'm a Borders lad, which is basically English as far as they're concerned, really. But
I bet they made that quite clear.
They do. But I also find it's really strange. After about 3 days, I actually say things like "dinny." And no, you can't do that. So,
that's the natural salesman in you.
That's right.
Charisma, building rapport. But Scott, if we go back to our, when Jones Digital and Virtual 360 Tours come together, Virtual 360 Tours was like the starting point for the Jones Digital brand.
Yeah.
It was our conversations, that initial work we did together. And I remember when we did the podcast in the Survival series, and we was talking about maybe I can introduce you to some of my contacts, and we can just start to see how it goes. Yeah. And those first few bookings in London and how it's spiraled. It's been a real success story, hasn't it, for you? The last, and we've been through a horrific time. We've been through a horrific time, but you've been able to do something that's safely traded through the pandemic.
100%.
There were times, Charlie, like last summer, where Scott would arrive at a showroom, the showroom was closed, the owners would open the showroom, leave him, he would dress it, record it, get it done, come back, give the keys back and go away. So it's all being done completely safely, COVID secure, and you've turned around some amazing projects. So, some of them are breathtaking, aren't they?
Yeah, I am passionate about the kitchen industry because it's what I did, and I've been I was up in Manchester 2-3 weeks ago at a really inspirational kitchen showroom. It's called Abyss Kitchens in Failsworth, Manchester. Absolutely stunning place, really is. I don't think I've seen another one quite like it, But I've been lucky enough to visit, hundreds of them, and I get paid for doing it. I love it, so it's really can't. And who would have thought, because we know when we first started this, it all started from, I think I put a little cheeky. This showroom's had 12,000 hits in the last.
Power of LinkedIn.
Yeah, exactly. All of a sudden, 260 people were looking at my profile, and
some strange bloke called Peter's messaged you, like inviting you onto a podcast. Yeah. It was a bit stalky, probably.
Exactly. Well, and also, I can't say I'm shy as such, but I'm not necessarily good in front of a camera, So when you mentioned the podcast the first time, I said, no, I'm not really interested in that. I think what did it for me was I think you started it with industry leaders and something else you said, and I thought, well, I'm not an industry leader, and I'm not really particularly. I'm just a bloke that goes around and shoots some films and sells a few kitchens. Really, that's what I do. But it's done brilliantly, hasn't it? You look at some of the names of the people that we've worked for.
You're being very humble, Scott. There, you're being very humble because I've been lucky enough, and my youngest son, before he's doing what he's done now, he's worked with you, and he would come home and go, Dad, Scott's good. He said, you're good, Dad, but I'm going to say it, Scott's better. He's better. The customers absolutely. That's Henry, not Harry. So you can't go out and have a go at Harry.
I still owe him for that. It was 25 quid. It cost me to get him.
He came back with a new watch, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
No, but I mean that's a mark to the man. So Henry's out there just learning and going with it. But you kind of. I won't use the word hold their hand, but you're guiding the business owners through the process as well. You're encouraging them to showcase their features. You know, if you've got something you're proud of, let's bring it to life as part of this tour. Let's make it stand out in the tour, and that's where they get really sexy. And they really do. I mean, I'm preaching to converted with me, but it doesn't fit everyone. You know, there are some businesses that don't want to play, and I get that. But right now, the interest we're having is phenomenal. Yeah. And the results we've had are phenomenal. You know, we're 200 plus tours. We've got bookings probably taking us up to 300. You know, if you look at how they're going to roll out until next year, we've got partnerships that are taking us into even more exciting things, and we'll talk about some of them later. But we go through some of the tours you've done. You remember the Ansota beds when Martin Gill, another listener to the show, hello Martin, but Martin and his team, they took you on a tour of London, didn't they?
They did, Martin, in his lovely Range Rover.
Yeah, but you went to King's Road, you went to Covent Garden, then you went out to Weybridge. And recently you've done the BSH flagship, haven't you?
We did the Siemens Wigmore Street, which is fantastic.
That was pretty special, wasn't it?
Really, really nice. It's very well laid out. I love the Siemens products anyway, to be honest with you. I mean, I've got an F, got to say, but I do like Siemens. It's very, very nice, you know. But we've been so fortunate, you know. A lot of hard work, and I think you are right. It's, you know, customers know that after about 10 minutes of speaking with me, they can just leave me to it. You know, I've had showroom owners who don't dress any of their units and things like that, and you know, and I've just said to them, you know, you really should, and they've trusted me, and I've, you know, dressed all the units for them and things like that.
Just to the uneducated and to the listeners who are not within the kitchen, bedroom and bathroom arena, because we have listeners all over the globe, Scott. I'm big in Canada. I'm big in Brazil. I'm big in Japan. I don't know how it happens, but apparently I am. We've been in the charts in 27 countries across the world. So you know, there's going to be kitchens in all those companies, but we're also going to have people listening that don't quite get the DNA and they don't quite get the terminology. So just take a couple of minutes, mate, just to explain what you mean by dressing the showroom prior to you filming the virtual tour.
Right. Well, a massive aspect of kitchens is, you know, is how they look. In essence, if you open a cupboard and it's empty, it's just a box. And you know, if you look at certain statistics, that, for example, you know, a designer will spend hours and hours and hours designing a kitchen to sell to their client, and if he presented it just in a raw, you know, no you know, like, for example, bowls of fruits on the side, scales and lighting and all these things, you are so less likely to sell that because you haven't actually presented it correctly. You know, when I was a designer, I would put pictures on the wall and wallpaper and you know, a dog's bed if they had a dog and all these things. In a showroom, it's much the same. You know, you go into some showrooms that are brilliantly presented and you think you're actually in someone's house, and you open the larder and there's gin and there's cocktail.
Some of the visits I've done, I've wanted to move in.
Yeah,
I don't really want to leave. I remember recording a podcast at a studio in Day True Studio in Wimbledon Village, and I said to Tony, "Hey, I'll just move in. I'm quite happy here."
Yeah.
You know, and some of them are that breathtaking, and this is my concept. So you've got that breathtaking. I've been to some amazingly beautiful showrooms, and then you look at kind of their website, and it's good, and their Instagram's good, and you're thinking, okay, that's good. Why don't you just go that step further and get a virtual tour there, so your customers can see exactly what's there, they can find their own way round, and then put a bit of passion behind it. The passion and creativity you have for your design, put that into some storytelling to support this tour and watch it skyrocket, because the businesses that embrace it, they're the ones getting the huge results, aren't they?
Absolutely, and it doesn't, in my mind, it doesn't make sense why you wouldn't. I understand that there will always be people who will want to walk to your showroom, and this isn't there to take place of those people. It's for the people that can't get there or don't feel safe going, or have already been but just want a little reminder, because when they leave your showroom, make mistakes, some of them will go somewhere else and they might have forgot what your showroom looks like and so on. And one of the benefits, of course, also is with QR codes doing so well nowadays. You know, you can have a QR code which is your showroom in virtual, and that could be put on your business cards, on your email addresses, on books that you hand out, brochures, you know, so people won't forget you. You know, there is no reason not to have a virtual tour. It will do nothing but promote your business and drive people to you that already know they love your products, they love your passion for kitchens, they love your design flair. You know, I just can't see a reason why you wouldn't have them. It's not like they cost thousands and thousands of pounds,
and as we said, this was the section that I thought would just really give everyone an understanding. It genuinely does give you, your showroom and your business, the chance to be open all hours.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
100%, yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Scott, what a brilliant... One, it's great to get you here. Two, you're in Sussex by the sea, so seeing the
Absolutely.
sea. I mean, you were smiling. Yeah, I was saying, is that the pier? Yes, that's the pier. Is this the race course?
I'm going paddling
Is
now.
this the race course? Where are the horses? There's no races today, Scott. It's all right, you know. But you know, you were like a kid in a sweet shop. Great start to the podcast. Thanks for being part of the show.
Thank you, Peter. It's been a pleasure.
Life-changing recruitment for the KBB, builders merchant and construction industries, creative social content, specialist knowledge, world-leading video technology, helping you find career happiness and helping your business attract its stars of the future. We are Foyne Jones. This is what we do.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, are you ready? The digital revolution is no longer a spectator sport. It's game on. The magical art of storytelling is the future. Social, content, branding, podcasts, video marketing, and virtual 360 tours. This is Jones Digital.
Okay, Charlie, could you just do that clap again, mate? Yeah, one more clap. We've got to get it in the show.
With feeling.
Yeah. There you go. He's probably turned it off now, Scott. That'd be bad, wouldn't it, if he turned the sound off? And anyway, we are back. Scott, as we were just talking in the break, we've become friends. I've been to the Cotswolds. You've been to Sussex by the Sea. We're going to be going to football together. We're going to watch Fulham. Yes. We'll watch our sponsored player playing for Lewis as well. Michael, different class. And more importantly, we have taken a LinkedIn connection. I think this is really important because people say LinkedIn's not Facebook, LinkedIn's this, LinkedIn's that. You know, is this LinkedIn appropriate? I'm telling you what, right? Saying to someone, you know, here's my dog, makes people go, I've got a dog, I like dogs, that's a nice dog. You know, talking about your family, talking about your football team, talking about your friends, getting to know each other starts a relationship. You then build trust and you start working together and you feel your way in. And I remember talking to you saying, you know, I've got all these contacts, Scott. I've been recruited in this market for 18 years. I know business owners, CEOs, decision makers, hiring managers, entrepreneurs. They're all in KBB. The builders merchants have got KBB showrooms. The KBB, you know, we've got the luxury showrooms, the beautiful showrooms. We've got the fantastic trade outlets. So I'm like, we've got this. I know these people. What can we do? We got the plan together and we took real baby steps. Let's pick some customers. Let's work with them. And we spoke about that before. The relationship and partnership now between Virtual 360 Tours, Gloucester, yourself, me, Foyne Jones and Jones Digital, it's really something special. For me, I look back at it and I think this started during COVID and during lockdown 1. We got through that. We got through lockdown 2. I mean, do you remember during lockdown 2 when you come to record your lockdown diaries? You said, I want to go to pizza. We couldn't go anywhere. And I'll share this with the listeners. We had to get takeaway pizzas and we ate them in our office. You know, and that was our night out. Yeah. You know, and that was... And it kind of, you learn a lot about each other in them conditions. And me and my eldest son, we come and stay with you and your family in the Cotswolds. Brilliant. And now you look back and you say, well, what have we achieved? And I just think the last 12 months have been fantastic. But, Mr. Currie, no pressure here, I think the best is yet to come because I think now there has been awakening to how powerful these tours are. And we're on the cusp, I think, of something very special, aren't we?
I do, absolutely. You know, numbers of views are going up very, very quickly. I've noticed since the colder weather, for example, you know, I quite often check the number of views and we're, you know, often hitting 1,000, 2,000 views a day because people are planning, you know, their kitchen showroom visits and so on, but they want to make sure they go to the right place. It's weird to think, I said, it was nearly 2 years ago, isn't it, where we first spoke. And
it'd be 2 years in March, I guess.
Unbelievable. And here we are now. I mean, good friends. We like,
Mate,
like each other's
you're
company.
talking to my missus just now. It's like you've known each other for years.
Exactly.
You've known each other, well, not as long as we've known each other, but the relationship's there. It's like my children talk to you as like talk about you like you're part of the family.
Yeah, that's
and it's completely surreal. We're from Fulham, West London. We live in Sussex.
Yeah.
You're from the Cotswolds. But some of the stories you were telling last night, you had us crying with laughter, and I think that relationship's what we take into the market. I know that I'm trusting Scott Currie in your business with businesses that I've got 10-year relationships with, 18-year relationships with, 5-year relationships with, new relationships with, which you could say is even more risky because,
Absolutely.
If you haven't got that longevity of highs, lows and being mates, or delivering a result, you're going in new. But I'm proud to introduce Scott Currie as our virtual showroom tour partner. I'm proud of the work you do, and I'm looking forward to taking it up to an even different level, because we are going into something different, because we've got virtual case studies underway, haven't we?
Yes.
And they are very, very exciting.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of bad reviews on kitchen showrooms, aren't there? There's a lot of bad, unhappy customers and so on. Having a virtual tour of a finished client's home, with a testimonial, with them explaining how they came about the design, why did they choose that showroom, what was it that that jumped out at them and made them feel confident to go in and see York Counter Interiors or Birkdale Kitchens and so on. It's a massive plus for the showroom. I think the customers love showing their homes off, and I just think that every showroom owner that I've spoke to has felt that is invaluable. It really is a big thing to have on your website. A happy customer.
Well, one of the nicest tours that I was involved in was with Ashford Kitchens. It was and Henry, my son, went with you, and we were talking to him about some other bits and pieces, and they asked how my son was, and I was genuinely like, wow, do you remember him? He said, yeah, he was with Scott. He did a great job. We love our tours, and they are one of the more forward-thinking, businesses in terms of their marketing, their content, their digital, their videography. Yeah. We've got another forward-thinking one following you in the next episode. We've got Jamie from Kensington Scott coming into the studio, and Jamie really is big on the social experience, and I mean that's in an episode to come. But you find that when you cut down to where the KBB industry is now, Scott, A special offer isn't something stuck into your window. Promoting your goods, you have to be streetwise, online, with digital, offline. It's a changing game, and and we were talking about it in the previous episode with the generations coming through. They're very comfortable with TikTok. They're very comfortable with Instagram. They know how to kind of live and exist in that world. We have to educate our clients and our business owners that, you can make very small steps and have huge impact. If you have a website and you're proud of your website, and you have a showroom which you're proud of, and you've got projects you're proud of, shout up, do star jumps, Tell the world. Don't keep it the best kept secret in your town, the best kept secret in your high street.
Exactly. And I'm slightly guilty of that myself. I had a website built 4 years ago, and I got to be honest with you, the website developer himself even said, you won't get any business from this. It's just you need a website to give you some credibility. That is so wrong. That has changed so much. Now with over 90% of people will look at your website. I find myself looking at people's websites, because I think, well, I'm going to go and visit them and I'll have a look. And I think, oh, God, they really need to do something with this website. And they are, because they're putting my tours on their landing page. And that's a really important part as well. Companies that have a virtual tour and then stick a tiny little box in the corner that says, drop down, take the tour. Very hard to find the tour. You don't get the impressions. I recently sent a little email to one of the companies that I did a tour for, and they'd had 11,100 impressions. That's people landed on the page where the tour is, and 10,800 people had viewed it.
So hold on, remembering I'm a 3-year-old, and I just want to bring that to life. You're telling me that showroom, that business, had 11,000...
11,100 impressions.
11,100 impressions,
Yeah.
and out of those 11,100, 10,000 of them...
10,800.
10,800 of them went on to view the whole tour.
Yeah, yeah. And something like 9,700 viewed it more than once.
Well, I mean, ladies and gents, boys and girls, that concludes the draw, because if genuinely you can get that level of engagement from a virtual tour, the question isn't why haven't you got one? The question is when do you want it?
Exactly.
You know, and that's when we can start coming to work, and that's a brilliant way to take us into how we see the next 12 months. So what are your expectations from the KBB sector and virtual showroom tours, Gloucester Limited, in the next 6 to 12 months? Scott, where do you see things going for you?
I started this company with the idea or the ethos that I want virtual tours for everyone. We are now the UK's leading virtual tour provider. Nobody has done more than Peter and I.
Let's just say that again.
We are now the UK's leading virtual tour provider to the KBB industry.
Booyaka! There you go.
Absolutely, 100%. You know, nobody has done more, and I feel we're scratching the surface. I think that if people understood fully what they stand to gain from a virtual tour, more and more people will take them. And we're already seeing a lot of, is it somewhere around 86, 87 new showrooms just recently?
Yeah, I mean, some of the pre-bookings, you know, you're having conversations where, you know, yes, we want 32 tours, yes, we want 41 tours,
that's right,
yes, we want 7, and we're also working with the businesses. So as they're planning their showrooms, as they are opening their showrooms, as they are developing their showrooms, we are booking in the recording. So we're probably, you know, structuring ourselves to support their progress. So, you know, there is, okay, we've got to cancel this one, we've got to change this, we've got to, you know, that's a necessary evil, but it's a game we're happy to play.
Absolutely. You know, we know we're living in strange times, and that, you know, it's difficult to always get everything right on the right day at the right time. But, you know, listen, we're here. I've always said, if this doesn't work for your business, it's not working for me. You know, I'm here to present your showroom in the best way I possibly can. So I go into showrooms sometimes that are quite small, and I spend hours and hours and hours getting them to look better, dressing them, you know, making all the units look brilliant and so on, because I'm passionate about what I do. And I'm not just some bloke that's going to walk into your showroom and say, well, you need to get out now, I'm going to be here for half an hour. I might be there all day. We need your showroom. It's on your website for 2 years. We need it to look as good as it can be. It is your showroom being viewed thousands of times.
And it is, right. and the success stories, the ones that have really gone off the Richter scale in terms of engagement and positivity and just general feel-good factor, that they're always the ones where the owners and the entrepreneurs that are behind those businesses are fully embracing, you know, fully 100%. Engaged.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a real difference, because you want them to work for them, don't you? Know, it's that I think is something magical, because if you go back to when those individuals launch their business, you know, they would have a dream to be the best showroom in their area, or to be the great lifestyle for them, and to offer the best service or have the best products and to win awards. So you've got a talented designer, a talented business owner who's award winning. They're best in class. They're up there with they've got the best products. Let's use, you know, modern technology to showcase that, and give them the chance to be seen by more people, and that's the beauty of it, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it always surprises me, and it disappoints somewhat. You know, when you look at a showroom and it's been live for 5 months and it's had 5 views, and then you go onto their website, it's not even on the website.
Yeah,
which is just
done well to get 5.
It just doesn't really make any sense. And then you give it to another company, and then you look at it, and 6 days later, it's on 270 views, and you think, Christ, how have they done that? You know, you couldn't have that many people walk through your showroom in 6 days.
But then you're just dealing with general. You know, there could be different pressures, there could be different circumstances, there could be lots of different reasons, and you have to get that. And I'm comfortable with that as well. I think with anything to do with social media, anything to do with digital, it's always that deep breath, diving in from the top board, throwing the stone into the pool. Like, what if? And I call it stick or twist syndrome. You know, you're going to stick or twist because you could spend your whole life thinking about it, or we just get it done and see what happens. Because you know the good thing about it, if you don't like it, take it down. We'll reshoot it. You know, we could have so much fun getting it right. And I talk about this with my storytelling and the content and the videography. You know, let's put it out. Let's get it done. If you like it, great. If you don't, let's work out why it didn't work. And some of the conversations that turn into amazing ideas, they come from a point of hesitancy. Like, shall we do it? But let's be bold. Let's be part of the future, and let's get back to business and make a virtual 360 tour part of your strategy for next year.
Absolutely. Every showroom should have one.
So, Scott, listen, look, you know, it's been great to have a beer with you. It's been fantastic to talk about the business, our partnership, our relationship. Jones Digital and Virtual 360 Tours Gloucester are rocking and rolling. You know, we are making an amazing difference. We are the leading provider of virtual 360 tours to the KBB industry, bar none. No one is doing the numbers like us. No one's got the relationships like us. And my message to all of the listeners is get in touch, because we can create a tour which is going to be special for your business, and it's going to keep you open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, and even when it gets dodgy and complicated with leap years, we're still there for you.
Absolutely.
How about that, Scott?
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah,
100%.
You know, get in touch, give us a call. You'll be very impressed by what we can do for your business.
Scott, it's been absolutely fantastic to get you in the showroom. You and Charlie are now best pals, and you're going to be doing some work together into 2022 and beyond.
Yeah.
This is the Foyne Jones Show. This is my podcast. We've gone back to business with Scott Currie in the studio. Scott, love to the family, love to the girls, love to the dogs. Snoop misses you already. We'll see you soon. Catch you in the next episode. We are getting back to business. That's the end of the show. Big shout out to our fantastic sponsors, MHK Holding UK. Next week, next episode, it's all going to be kicking off. I'm joined in the studio by Jamie from Kensington Scott, Mike Seeger, our new videographer at Jones Digital, and we are going to be talking about the power of video and the magical art of digital storytelling. Thanks for listening. We are the Foyne Jones Show, getting you back to business.